Bonjour, this is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast. This is the podcast that's all about the cuisine that is said to have founded modern cooking. French ingredients and dishes have been the starting block for many of the world's best chefs and cooks. And on Fabulously Delicious, you'll learn all about those dishes and ingredients, as well as get to know more about fabulous French foodies. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Enchanté.
Enchanté.
My life changed when I competed on MasterChef Australia, and now I'm living my best life right here in France, in the French countryside. Cooking, eating, meeting wonderful locals, food producers, chefs, home cooks, drinking amazing wines, eating some of the over, would you believe there's more than 1,500 French cheeses? Yum. And of course, sharing these fabulous experiences with you, my fabulously delicious audience. I hope you're enjoying them. This month, we're diving headfirst into the magical world of Christmas food traditions here in France. We'll explore how the French celebrate the holiday season through their love of food. In today's episode, we're starting with a tradition that is not only filled with surprises, but also steeped in history. And, of course, a touch of French flair. Let's unwrap the story behind this beloved holiday custom. Sit back, turn the volume up. If you're not driving, pour yourself a glass of wine, break a baguette, add a bit of saucisson, maybe? Yum. Some of that delicious cheese. And enjoy today's episode of Fabulously Delicious Advent Calendar. For some reason, in my childhood, we never had Advent calendars. In fact, I don't think many people in Australia did in the 70s, 80s or 90s. Despite having parents from European descent, it was just not a thing. Christmas for us was more about summer holidays, barbecues, backyard cricket, and the occasional pavlova for dessert. But nowadays, Advent calendar season seems to be everywhere and very much a part of the festive season in Australia and around the world. Having moved to France, I've been amazed to see how popular Advent calendars are here. As early as the last weeks of November, shops' displays are a bustling array of Advent calendars. By the first week of December, it all seems almost mandatory to have one, whether you're a child or a full-grown adult. You'll see them in supermarkets, artisan chocolate stores, specialty food stores, and online, of course. They're not just for kids anymore. They've evolved into something truly spectacular. But what exactly is an Advent calendar? And why am I talking about it on a podcast about French food? Well, stick around because these questions and more will be answered. Advent calendars, or le calendrier d'Avent, as they are called in French, may be incredibly popular here, but their origins are not French. In fact, this delightful tradition hails from Germany, our neighbours. Many people assume that the term Advent simply means before Christmas. However, the word actually comes from the Latin adventus, meaning arrival or coming. In the Christian tradition, Advent marks the period of anticipation and preparation for the celebration of the birth of Christ. The Advent calendar has evolved significantly over time. Its roots trace back to the 19th century Germany, where the tradition began with the lighting of candles set in a wooden wreath on each of the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas. This ritual created a sense of reflection and community as families gathered to prepare for the arrival of Christ. As the tradition grew, families began incorporating other practices. Parents would give their children small illustrations on cards each morning during Advent, often featuring excerpts from the Old Testament. These cards were meant to teach children about biblical stories and themes in preparation for Christmas. By the late 19th century, the Advent calendar as we know it began to take shape. Families started using small boxes or pockets with windows that opened, revealing religious illustrations. Over time, these illustrations gave way to small gifts, and the calendar transformed into a daily countdown to Christmas, filled with little surprises. The first commercially produced Advent calendar was created in 1908 by Munich-based publisher Gerard Lunn. These calendars featured colourful cardboard designs and small figurines or gifts hidden behind each window. Lunn's innovation marked the beginning of a beloved tradition that would spread across Europe and eventually the world. In France, Advent calendars gained popularity after the Second World War. The French, being the culinary innovators that they are, elevated the tradition in 1958 by introducing calendars with chocolate hidden behind each door. It's a classic example of French flair for combining tradition with indulgence, I think. And this idea of a sweet treat behind every door quickly caught on internationally. Dreaming of the perfect Parisian food experience? Well, my book, Paris, A Fabulous Food Guide to the World's Most Delicious City, is exactly what you need to explore the culinary gems of Paris. From cozy boulangeries to decadent patisseries, bustling markets to hidden wine bars, this guide has all the must-visit spots to make your Paris trip unforgettable. You can grab your copy at andrewpryorfabulously.com and even get a signed and beautiful gift wrap version. Or if you prefer, it's also available on Amazon, including a Kindle version for instant access. Bon appetit and happy reading. Now, you can't have an Advent calendar without, well, Advent itself. So what exactly is Advent? As mentioned earlier, Advent represents the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas and is traditionally seen as a time of hope, reflection and anticipation. In France, Advent is often intertwined with local customs and celebrations unique to each region. For example, in Lorraine, the Alsace, and Nord-Pas-de-Calais, the Feast of St. Nicholas on September the 6th is a major event. These regions come alive with parades, shows, and even fireworks. St. Nicholas is a beloved figure in French holiday culture, often depicted as a precursor to the modern Santa Claus. Another Advent tradition in France is the celebration of Saint Barbe, or Saint Barbara, on December the 4th. Saint Barbe is the patron saint of firefighters, miners, and pyrotechnicians, and her feast date is marked by festivals featuring fire-themed arts and performances. In some regions, wheat or lentil seeds are planted on this day, symbolizing renewal and growth, and these sprouts are often displayed as decorations during Christmas. And let's not forget the Fête des Luminaires in Lyon, one of the most spectacular Advent traditions in France. This 4-day festival of lights transforms the city into a glowing wonderland. Monuments, hills, and riverbanks are illuminated with breathtaking displays, attracting visitors from around the globe. In Paris, the Advent season is marked by the magical transformation of the Champs-Élysées. This famous avenue sparkles with festive lights, officially signaling the start of the holiday season. Department stores join in on the festivities with elaborate windows displays, drawing crowds who come to marvel at the artistry and creativity. These displays are not just limited to Paris. Cities like Strasbourg, known for its stunning Christmas markets, also boast incredible decorations. Although Advent traditionally begins on Sunday, closest to November the 30th, in France, the Advent calendar often starts on December the 1st, providing a full 24 days of small delights leading up to Christmas Eve. Some critics argue that this shift is more commercial than traditional, but the French have embraced it wholeheartedly. Advent calendars are now a significant part of the French Christmas market. In fact, chocolate Advent calendars alone generate over 80 million euros in sales here in France, more than 10% of the country's total Christmas chocolate market. The Kinder Advent calendar dominates this market, representing a whopping 64% of sales. But chocolate isn't the only thing you'll find in a French Advent calendar. The French culinary imagination has expanded the concept to include wine calendars with small bottles perfect for sharing, as well as calendars featuring macarons, jams, caramels, bonbons, teas, charcuterie, oils, and vinegars. There's even one for craft beers. Yes, you heard that right. French beer Advent calendar. For those who appreciate luxury, there are high-end Advent calendars from renowned French chocolatiers and patisseries. Imagine opening a door to discover a perfectly crafted truffle, a delicate pastry, or even a mini bottle of champagne. These calendars often become collector's items and add a touch of sophistication to the festive season. For those of you abroad, many of these Advent calendars can be shipped internationally, making them a fantastic way to add a touch of French festivity to your holiday season. While it might be a bit late to order one for this year, it's never too early to start planning for next Christmas. So whether you're lighting a candle, enjoying a piece of chocolate, or discovering a new French delicacy behind each little door, Advent calendars are a delightful way to count down the days until Christmas. And in France, they remind us of the country's ability to take even the simplest traditions and turn them into something truly magical. That's it for another episode of Season 4 of Fabulously Delicious. Had you heard of Advent calendars before? What's the most fabulous thing that you've learned from today's episode? Let me know by contacting me via Instagram. Slide into my DMs at Andrew Pryor Fabulously, or you can email me on contact@andrewpryorfabulously.com. I love to chat with you all. We could just have a chat about Christmas in France if you like, and the food that we eat here. I love talking to people about food, and especially French food. Thank you for listening, and remember, you know what my motto is? Whatever you do, do it fabulously. Merci beaucoup, bonne Noël, and bon app.